Welcome to the members for another weekly market update. Looking over my shoulder update. Please check the other video for the overall market view first. So let's look at some individual positions. TTPH has been the star performer this week. As you know, I was waiting to catch a ride, and it kept bumping me out. Finally got in there, and this is a great example of if at first you don't succeed and it looks good, then go for the next one. As long as the stop loss is tight, then who cares? You lose a bit there, you lose a bit there, wait for it again. Okay, I'm in this time. And this time the stock seemed ready. And we got, on Friday actually, we got this lovely volume spike here, and it shot up, and it's really forming this lovely boxing action now, stepping up, as you can see, up the 20-day line, the green one there. Really nice action, orderly now. You saw that first box between 5 and like 550, and then we got like 550 to 6, and now 6 to 650 has been broken, and so maybe this is in the 7 to 650 box now. And look at all the upside potentially here with this one, so going well on that one. And remember, I can get bumped out lots of different times. I can, if my losses are small, all it takes is one really nice winner like that, and it just doesn't matter, Let's look at some other stuff anyway, though. HA is one thing I mentioned last week, and it's just hanging in there. As I say, I wasn't entering that if I was going to. I said that this was looking good. It's still on its 200-day, though, and this is a very tight entry now, if one was so inclined. Because it gives you that tight stop loss. I mean, I would be out of this if it closed below the 200-day. So it doesn't get much tighter than that. Let's look at what's going on in gold and gold miners. This is a ongoing story, and it keeps frustrating to the downside. As I say, I've got trading. Remember, there's investing, there's trading. Investing is long term. You can sit with gold. Shorter term, it's just trading. And I remember saying that gold touched this moving average here, the 40-week, that was an important inflection point, because this was either going to be a breaking out of its downwards trend, or it was going to bounce off of that and turn back down. And that's what gold did. The gold miners did a similar thing following that, disappointingly, because the juniors were leading the way nicely and got above its 40-week and then turned down again. So I don't know, maybe gold's just it's not really respecting its 40-week and doing its own thing as it muddles over the interest rate situation and so on and things like that. Oil is something I've been asked about. Oil is, the reason I haven't mentioned oil is I just don't see it as very particularly tradable right now. It definitely is bouncing along its bottom of its range. It had that huge fallback then, and there it is, just may have carved out long-term support there and resistance there. So we'll see. Nothing interesting there for me right now. What else do we have here? Check in on CS. Still, it's on the weekly chart. It's still in its little uptrend. It's not exactly a fast mover, this one, but it's moving, and it's not losing, which is the main thing. You can see it quite clear on the daily chart there, upwards trend. We might get a bit of a break upwards here because a wedge is forming here. You see the top line of it there, and that up there around here, $16. It should get a pop higher. CF. Yeah, hanging on there was its last week, and I said that if it was going to go any lower than that, I'd probably take my profits and look to get back in another time, and so that's what I did. A little bit of profit there, but this might be all part one big sort of pullback here. If I look at the weekly chart, I've got some profit off of the table with this one, but this might be another chance at a second entry, because it broke upwards, and this might just be a healthy pullback to the 40-week before continuing higher. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one for a re-entry. Not liking the weekly RSI there at that level, and it's really got bottomy down here. So let's see what happens. I would be back in this one between 28 and 29 with a tight stop, the closing under the 200-day. And then we're playing the odds there. If it's if it's just a healthy bounce, then off we go, and if it's not, then it goes lower. Then we get out without losing much, right? It's just all a big game of the odds, right? Small downside with potentially big upsides. What else do we have? I always look at the currencies every now and again, because I've been asked about the pound again, and there it is bouncing along. Support there. It's a terrible state. FXA was one thing I was looking at. Let's look at Japanese yen. Yeah, and that's where I shorted it right there, and cashed in. That was a nice short. Really fell there. FXC, the Canadian dollar. There's a gold and oil play, and you can see along with gold and oil, these things are just dragging along the bottom really. Euro. Everything is getting killed by the dollar right now. So it looked like the dollar rally was ending, but it's just kind of just leveling off there. So nothing that tradable right now in currencies. Let's look at the bonds, the long bond there. This is American bonds, and this is what will be setting mortgage rates, and this is a very closely watched, heavily traded index, and this is definitely having a difficult time here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this week. The Federal Reserve. I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but Janet Yellen is still the head of the Federal Reserve, and Trump has openly stated how much he hates her, and he can't fire her until next year. So she might just come up with a way to say some sort of surprise. I mean, she's a staunch Democrat. He's obviously Republican, and market's been riding very high, and they're not really well prepared for a Federal Reserve surprise. So let's watch closely. I'm not going to add any new positions. Let them ride the winners, other than the ones I've already mentioned. Getting back in on a couple of things there, and I'll speak to you next time.